Okay, it is 6:30. We are now opening our council meeting. I would like to welcome everyone and our mayor and GL and Brooke and Jennifer. Welcome. We will open with a pledge of allegiance with Corey Plant. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey. Okay, we'll turn it over to the council. Have you looked over the minutes for council meeting December 6, 2022, and special council meeting December 12, 2022? Has everybody looked over those? Okay, no corrections or questions or comments. Can I have an action on the minutes to be approved? And we'll take both of them.
Great. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for council meeting on December 6th, 2022, and special council meeting December 12th, 2022.
Is there a second?
I second that.
Okay, thank you. Can we all in favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you so very much. Okay, our next is the Murray City Employee of the Month, Omar Liman, Senior Recreation Center Chef, with myself and Kim Sorensen but Corey that's why you're, okay. I'll meet you up to the podium with Omar.
Come on.
Welcome. Okay, Omar, I will just read a little bit. Omar has been employed with Murray City for about 2 years. Thank you. Omar has made significant changes with the Senior Center lunch program. He experimented with portions and blends of foods to understand and offer what the seniors desire. Senior Center patrons praise Omar for the food he prepares. He is very dedicated to his job and to making the highest quality food possible. He is deserving of the Employee of the Month recognition. The numbers of meals served at the center has increased since Omar was hired. He has been a great addition to the Murray Senior Recreation Center. So as the council, we would like to present this $50 for you. Should I give this to your wife?
Yeah, sure.
And also, here's the certificate.
Beautiful.
And there you go. And then I'm sure Corey would like to say a few words, and we would love to hear from you also.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. I'll just say this. Omar has been a great addition to the Senior Center in Murray. He has increased our lunches served significantly. He's very creative, and if you know Omar, he takes a lot of pride in his kitchen. And even though he's not a gourmet chef, he kind of acts like one. He likes people to like what he does. He likes the presentation. And to be honest with you, I go around every day and I ask people how they like the meals, and I hear very few negatives and everything's positive. So with that, I am so grateful that we have Omar. He's been a great addition, and we hope that we can keep knocking it out of the park and attracting more seniors to our lunch program. Omar, do you want to say a few things?
Yes. Thanks, everybody. Corey's a great boss, by the way. And I see myself more of a lunch lady, actually. I like that title. Yeah, thank you. It's a great honor, and I feel really appreciated. Thank you, Mayor. All righty.
Can I say something, Pam?
Okay. Huh? Go right
say
ahead,
something?
Mayor.
Oh, you were saying something?
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
You first.
Mayor.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Really, Omar, you are one of the best. Oh, my wife just walked in. You're the second best chef. I didn't see you, Cindy. I looked back there. She would probably agree. We both have had your food, and you are amazing, and you can't even get in on
Yeah.
when it's salmon lunch. But anyway, thank you. You're amazing. We as a city really, really appreciate your service. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was just going to say, we have our own business, and my husband is a gourmet chef, but none of them will ever recognize that they are. And you know, I've heard nothing but great things about you, and I'm really proud and to know that you're there. I've had the food before, and it was, you know, it was kind of mediocre. And I think our seniors deserve somebody like you to really give them a reason to come back every day. And sometimes it probably is their only meal. So I know you probably take that with great honor and great consideration, and chefs usually do. And I really appreciate that you're being recognized tonight. And if you need a sous chef, I'll send my husband or myself to go help anytime that you need. We do it anyways, so if you ever need anything, let me know. Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you, Omar, and thank you to your wife for being here. Thank you. Okay, now, any other comments from the council?
Nope, just thank you. It's wonderful to have a really good chef at the senior center. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, now we'll open it to citizen comments. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Please step to the microphone, state your name and city of residence, and please fill out the required form and hand that to Jennifer. So if anyone has any comments, you are more than welcome to come now. I was waiting for you. You were hesitant.
You only get 3 minutes, but if you go to 2 meetings, you can have 6 minutes. As it turns out, pro tip. Right. So the last thing I wanted to say about it was Mr. Yost was talking about how the reason why this is great for multifamily and higher density is because of its location and access via tracks and freeway entrances. But that's also what makes this, our city and our downtown specifically, and right in this very property, this area, a great area for a destination, a great place to attract people to Murray and make it like a real downtown that brings people in, right? And unfortunately, not always when you have a high-rise apartment are those people that you count on staying here and spending money. A lot of them sleep here, but then go elsewhere and spend their money. And so just having people here doesn't equal more dollars spent in Murray. Having a great downtown does. And, according to the survey and other comments you've gotten about walkability and sit-down restaurants, eateries, boutique shops. I mean, I feel like it's pretty clear what makes a great downtown according to the citizens of Murray. And I think we have a unique opportunity to create that, not only including this property, but also on Block 1. Thank you.
Thank you, Clark. Come ahead. Sure, come.
Hi, my name's Mary Evans, and I'm just here in regards to the new building that you guys are building for the Murray City. I know that
Do you have an address that we could have?
publicly, yes, I will write it on your paper.
Oh, okay.
You bet. And then I'm.
You live in Murray?
I live in Fort Union, right on the border. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's all we
And
need to
I am
know.
to you, but I'm.
Oh, that's okay. That's fine.
Yeah,
Go
we
ahead.
just need
Sorry.
to know your city.
Yes, yes. And I know that you're building your new building, and sorry. I wanted to request, because I've spoken with the builder, and I'll give him some of my suggestions for in regards to their police wing. I'm wanting to provide a safe place for individuals who are having to be processed by the police, as I don't feel that this building, and I'm happy that you guys get to move out of this building and provide a fresh start for abilities you don't have in this building, and to maybe take in consideration suggestions for funds in order to allot that, because I know that the mayor will need to approve the funds in order to provide maybe some requests for some changes that might not have been allotted in the previous requests. And then I also am aware that I just read the agenda for the meeting, and I know that we're looking at allotting some funds for mental health services for the retired police officers. And I wanted to request that maybe we consider doing that for their current police officers and their families that are with them now, in order to maybe lighten the reaction that they might receive from their Murray citizens to help our current citizens. And it'll trickle downhill, being proactive to get mental health services before the problems are embedded in these police officers and their families. And so maybe requesting that money allotted for their current active in duty and their families instead of their retired families. But sorry, I don't talk normally, so thank you for listening, and I hope you take this in consideration when plans are submitted for the building and when funds are requested to be spent on instances that might be a little bit more sensitive than you quite understand, might need more allotted attention to. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments?
I received a comment from a citizen that asked me to read it in. Is that something I can do?
Sure.
My name is Munir Merchant, and I have a business in Murray. Our family pharmacy has been based in Murray for almost 20 years. Since 2011, I've owned the building the pharmacy is located in. The building uses quite a bit of energy, and I would like to install solar panels so that we have less of an environmental footprint. Unfortunately, the current regulations in Murray make it so that any solar panels I could install would do little to help reduce our carbon footprint. Murray only allows 10 kilowatts for solar panels, and we would need to install 50 in order to make a difference. I respectfully ask you to consider the current policy so that a business can both save money and make a difference in our environment.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay. We will close that, and we'll move forward on our agenda. There's no consent agenda. We have a public hearing. Consider an ordinance amending the city's fiscal year 2022, 2023 budget, and Brenda Moore will be presenting.
So we're going to have a public hearing and then consideration of this budget amendment. I'll very quickly go through the items. We have in the general fund, all of these things will actually add $95,000 to reserves and some change. I'm going to round these all off because it's just quicker and easier. We're going to receive a grant, JAG grant, Justice Assistance Grant, for $33,620, and we will be purchasing some protective gear, police protective gear for that. We're going to receive the ZAP grant of $100,000. That is the largest amount that we have ever received, and part of that is due to the fact we're ramping up the theater. Hopefully in the future we will get more. Those will be going to reserves. If you pass the MOU tonight, there is $20,211 of public safety mental health grant that we will be receiving. That will go to reserves because knowing that our officers and firefighters needed this program, we have already budgeted the expense side, and then we just hoped that the state would help us pay for it. We're going to appropriate $7,536 for overtime and related taxes and $74,000 for software that we needed to purchase after our computer incident. And we need, our IT people need to work overtime again once we get our new building, once we're allowed in there so that they can start setting up our computers and getting all of that stuff working. need to appropriate $21,578 for a music specialist cost sharing with the Murray School District. If that MOU does not pass, we won't be authorized to actually, because of no interlocal or no agreement between the two entities, we would not spend that. It would just sit in the budget until, go back into reserves. And then also, we're going to decrease the mayor's budget for the DEI advisor. We were going to have them be an employee. They are now external contract advisor, so we're going to put $78,243 back into reserves and lower his budget down to the appropriate amount. The library fund, we have 2 grants that we are receiving. A hotspot grant, so you can go rent hotspots when you're leaving town for free, and then a receipt of a state library other ARPA pass-through grant for materials of $12,000. So the state is using a lot of their ARPA funds to help support the libraries. In the CIP fund, we're going to use reserves of $72,922. First thing we're going to do is receive and budget $3,636,500 from the county TRCC funds for the Murray Theater. So that will be added to our amount, and then we should have enough to finish the remodel of the Murray Theater. We're going to appropriate funds for a space saver in the new city hall. It's for the recorder's office to keep all of their records in their storage room. If at the end, that's $21,422. Oh, yeah. $422. If at the end of the project there is still budget left in the city hall, I will move that over to the city hall budget. But for now, we might be close enough that I want to leave that there. And then we're going to appropriate $51,500 to switch the landscaping on Hanauer Street from grass and turf and some of the landscaping in the city hall project from grass to more of xeriscaping, plant-wise plants. The only grass at City Hall that will be, well, the only turf at City Hall will be where people are expected to sit on the lawn. In the power fund, due to cost increases of the price of purchase power, we're going to increase their budget for purchase power from reserves of $800,000 for this year. In the solid waste fund, we're going to increase their collection cost budget by $44,500 due to the ACE disposal CPI adjustment that is allowed in their contract. The current fees that we are collecting for the solid waste fund are sufficient. I just didn't budget enough to cover the cost of the collection. In the retained risk fund, we're going to appropriate $250,000 for liability claims. We're going to fund those from reserves. Central garage, this is the one I added. We are going to appropriate $44,000 for the maintenance of our fuel pumps and lines from reserves. This is why we have the central garage kind of there. This fuel station is used by every city vehicle, and so we need to first make sure it's not an environmental hazard and that it works properly. We have moved the tanks are now above ground. We got to replace the lines and do some other stuff. But because it's being funded by the central garage, every department that has cars, based on the amount of vehicles that they do have and equipment that they do have, will be paid for part of this. So that's why we have a central garage. Any questions, comments?
I just have a question. So how are we doing on our city reserves?
The city reserves?
Uh-huh.
We're adding back into it, and because the sales tax has been unbelievably good, more than I could even imagine, I am going to project, if it continues that way, that we will probably, instead of using $2 million of reserves, we will at least break even.
Awesome.
That's my hope.
Okay, good.
My big hope, if it continues the way it's going.
Well, I hope that too. So, all right, thanks. I just wanted to make sure you know how I am with reserves.
Yes, we never spend our savings if possible.
That's right.
Can I ask a question? Brenda, Are we at 30% or 28%? I know we're close to it, but we used to be at 25 and then they allowed us to go up. Are we closer?
They allowed us to go up, but I have maintained it at 25. I think technically it was at 24.5 something. So it's
Perfect.
right where, so if our money stopped coming in 100%, we could last 3 months and continue doing what we're
long.
doing.
No, not very long.
So that's essential. I mean, that's a good savings amount.
Right.
It's the same thing as a personal one. They always say have 60 days, 3 to 6 months. That's what we've got sitting in reserves. Of course, we would stop doing a lot of stuff, but
That makes the assumption you don't change anything
Right.
in your.
Great. Thanks, Brenda.
Okay, we'll open it to public comments. No, yes? Yeah, okay. Oh, you gave me the, I like, oh, okay. We'll open this for public comments for 3 minutes. Fill out the form and give it to Jennifer if anyone would like to comment about the ordinance amending the city's fiscal year 2022-2023 budget. Okay, seeing there are no comments. Council, do you have any questions or concerns or anything? Oh, we need to close the public hearing, sorry. Even have that on my paper. Close the public yes. Okay, so I will close the public hearing and turn it over to the council. Any questions, concerns, anything?
I just think there's some great things in here that, finally getting the theater, the full funding that it needs to get that done. I know that's been a big priority for us this last year for a while, so really excited to see that moving forward and to see the extra money we're getting on the grants is really great as well.
Yes, I want to say that. The grants, I think, are very important. And I know there's more coming, and each department is definitely on top of that. So thank you, Mayor. We were on a trip in Nashville, and that's all I kept pounding him about. So I do. And I will continue, Mayor. So thank you. I appreciate it.
And I think it's great you do.
Thank you.
Okay, so if we're done discussing, I will entertain a motion on the ordinance amending the city's fiscal year 2022-2023 budget.
I'll make a motion that we adopt an ordinance amending the city's fiscal year 2022-2023 budget.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay, any discussions on the motion? Okay, Brooke, would you please do our roll call?
Aye.
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 Aye. You're fine. Okay, so now that we are done with public hearing, we're on to the business items. First, we are going to be considering a resolution accepting a grant award from the Department of Public Safety for the state of Utah, authorizing the execution of a memorandum of understanding between the city and the Department of Public Safety for the state of Utah relating to first responders' mental health service. Our Chief Burnett will be Oh, I was looking that way and I'm going, where did he go?
Very sneaky.
You were.
Thank you, council. Just maybe for the benefit of those in attendance here. Last year in the legislature, they passed House Bill 23, which is called first. I almost said first offender. First responder mental health. So they've required that we look out for the mental health and the mental wellness of our current employees, our retirees, and families. So we have implemented that already. This grant, as part of that, they allowed us to apply for a grant, which that money we will now use for that. And we're using it already for our current employees, who are the ones that are getting the most use out of this, but we also have it available for retirees and for families. So this money will just be helping us, the police and fire department, to take care of our current employees and those who have worked with us before.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any questions for Chief Burnett?
How do you feel like this is being received by your officers?
I think it's being well received.
Great.
I think, I think deep down inside, we all want to make sure that we're where we need to be, no matter what that is. Physically, mentally, spiritually, we all have issues, and this is, I think, I've heard very little negative, if anything. So I think in the long run, this will be a good program for us, and I think the fire side is seeing that as well.
And to confirm, it's for both current and retired?
Yes.
Okay.
I just wanted to say, and I said it earlier, I do appreciate the barriers being broken and the stigma. I know it's hard, and I think our officers are put to, all officers are up for different challenges these days, and COVID kind of presented society in a different way, and we see it in our neighborhood, and we see it on our street. So I think this would just only help in expanding for us to just be better and do better overall for ourselves first and foremost, and to show up for citizens. So thank you. And I was there during the session when this was presented and got voted on, and I think the community in all areas of Utah wanted it, and retirees and families, especially to those who have fallen by suicide or any other ways. It was something that we don't make sacrifices like others who do put their lives on the line, but in the public's eye, it's a different. You, as a family, you lose a lot of time with your loved ones. So it's something that I think it was really important to the legislator and the state as a whole. And this is just us recognizing that now. So thank you.
And it was supported by public safety as well.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, could I have a motion made?
All right, I will make a motion to adopt the resolution accepting a grant award from the Department of Public Safety for the state of Utah and authorizing the execution of a memorandum of understanding between the city and the Department of Public Safety for the state of Utah relating to first responder mental health services.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Do we have any other discussions on this? Okay, Brooke, could you do our roll call?
Aye.
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 Aye. Thank you, Chief. Okay, now we'll go on to number 2. Consider a resolution authorizing the execution of a memorandum of understanding between Unified Fire Authority, Murray City relating to reimbursement of overtime or backfill costs incurred by Murray City Fire Department personnel to maintain capability to respond to hazardous material and other serious incidents. Battalion Chief Steve, where is he? Okay. Steve Olson. And I was told you are the amazing bagpipe of Murray Fire?
That's true, and farther.
And
farther reaching. Yeah, someday. So many things are coming together, but thank you.
You're welcome.
So this MOU makes it possible for us to, the training already happens. This is just a backfill mechanism so that the firefighters and paramedics who go to the class, their overtime, the people that fill their spot while they're in class, that overtime incurred would be reimbursable through this state Homeland Security fund. So the training is not super common. It's maybe classes we only send a handful to each year, a couple of different times. But it's good to have that backfill mechanism so it's not hurting us in other areas and covering our city so we're not short-staffed if we send people out of town. Some of these classes are actually in different states. So.
Okay.
And so is this a requirement, or is this something that Unified puts on that we're now coming into an agreement with to receive funds from them?
So on a county level, the county emergency management group is basically Unified Fire Authority, who kind of brokers it out, coordinates it all. So we coordinate with them for a lot of this training. Programs like hazardous materials teams are generally bigger than just like what one city could do. So it's like a valley-wide response.
Okay.
So when it comes up,
So we would provide some people to a response as needed.
yeah,
Okay.
but we wouldn't be able to handle it solely on our own.
Okay.
We're just supplementing.
So do we have an agreement in place to handle that in those instances where something like that, we already have something? I see GL nodding his head, so I assume that.
So there's mutual aid agreements
Okay.
for response and training, and
Okay.
not to steal GL's thunder. He knows it a lot.
He did wear his special glasses tonight, so I thought maybe he was going to speak, but
So
his Clark Kents, that's good.
Okay, can I have any other comments? Okay, can I have a motion made?
I'll make a motion that we adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of a memorandum of understanding between United Fire Authority and Murray City relating to reimbursement of overtime or backfill costs incurred by Murray City Fire Department personnel to maintain capability to respond to hazardous materials and other serious incidents.
I would second that.
Okay, any further discussion? None? Okay, Brooke?
Aye.
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 Aye. Thank you, Battalion Chief Olson, for coming. Okay, we are on to number 3. Consider a resolution approving an interlocal corporation agreement between the city and Murray City School District relating to music education and instruction. Presenting is Doug Hill.
Thank you.
I'm not used to everybody to be up there. I'm expecting them to
Well, as you just read, this is an agreement between Murray City and the Murray School District to jointly fund a music specialist. In Murray's case, Murray City would fund $21,578,000 of that position, and then the Murray School District would fund the same amount. So it's a 50-50 match. The agreement also outlines some of the responsibilities that the music specialist must do in order for the city to provide the funding. And finally, this is an agreement that Murray City has had with the Murray School District for a number of years. And as Brenda just mentioned, in the budget amendment that you just approved, the funds are included in that budget amendment should you approve the agreement. So be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. I think, I mean, we've done this for a long time for Murray City School District, and I keep asking the question, why don't we do it for Cottonwood High as well? And it was answered that at this point, there had not been any interest from Cottonwood High, correct? Is that pretty much the deal?
Well, let me put it this way. So this is a request that the Murray School District made to the city. Cottonwoods Heights has not made a request, and so I don't know if there would be any interest or not. I have not spoken to them about funding their music specialist, or even if they have one.
Right. I think it might be a good idea if we look into that and find out if there might be an interest for next year for funding at that time. Because it seems like I remember that they had been contacted and showed no interest, but I'm not sure. I can't name names, or I don't know who actually told me that. It was a couple of years ago, but
Diane, I was involved in that, and it wasn't the music program. I don't know what they have with the music program, but it was the scholarships we had offered. 2,000, they finally accepted one, and they didn't accept the other 1,000. And the principal, when we met with her, there's a new one now, but when I met with her, she made it very clear that they're interested in those 2 scholarships, 1,000 apiece.
Okay, so I would make the recommendation that we contact Cottonwood High and see if they're interested in having funding for the same reason, or, equal or whatever. I think it's important what we do for Murray High that we do for Cottonwood High as well. So I have those
Well, let me have this understanding. Is it for all of the schools in Murray, or is it just for the high school?
So I had invited a representative from the Murray School District to come and talk about this. I received an email late this afternoon from Missy Hamilton, who is
Yep.
the employee with the school district over this program. She had a conflict, wasn't able to come, so I'm not sure that I can answer specifically what this music specialist does, but it is for the entire district. So it's my understanding that they do it for multiple schools within the Murray School
So
District.
the 7 elementaries, the 2 junior highs, and the high school. So you're looking at 10 places, schools that this specialist has to be at.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's all 10 or just the elementary schools, but
Okay.
I know that it is at a minimum the elementary schools.
Okay, so when we approach Cottonwood, we should approach the elementary schools that have been annexed into Murray City. Is that my understanding with the council? Okay.
Yeah,
Not
Yeah,
Cottonwood High School, but the elementary schools that are in Murray.
Right,
Got it. Okay.
it's fine.
Yeah, no problem. I'd be happy to assist with that.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Doug.
and I agree with Diane. I think it needs to be fair. Our kiddos who may go to Granite School District still are citizens too. So we just be mindful in that. But I also don't feel comfortable giving the full amount. I know it's not the full amount of 40,000 to Murray School District even this year. I think we still should have that conversation with Granite School District this year. They may already have it in their budget, so they're fine, but to start that conversation even now and not wait. So I don't know. I know when we had this meeting at Committee of the Whole, I guess that was my understanding, is that that conversation would be initiated.
Yeah, I think
don't
it's up to
know.
you whether you want to hold off on the agreement or move forward with it.
I'd be more than happy to assist Doug also and maybe even involve Diane.
And I'd like to be involved,
Okay,
yeah.
involve
Yeah,
you, Gary.
same. I mean,
okay.
it's all our district.
Right. So I'll do whatever you
Yeah.
want me to do. I'll help Doug and get
even if-
assistance to get a hold of someone.
Someone at Granite School
Yeah,
District is what
yeah.
it sounds
Now,
like.
next year, remember, so Rosalba, you're saying to do that in this budget year?
I think
to
we
hold an
should have a
opening?
conversation.
Okay. Then I'll tell them, because you know what, now it's going to be turned over to the council and it'll be an application. So that's
Right, in
going to
the
be totally
future.
different
Yeah.
in a few months. So, but in the meantime, I'll get a hold of you guys and we'll do that.
Yeah, I do agree that, Diane has been asking about this since I've been on the council, and now we're under new leadership, but I know it's still, I guess that's just where I was left off in the last, from Committee of the Whole, was that we were going to meet.
Right.
But I
and
don't know where that went.
And just remember that I have talked to Cottonwood and they just didn't seem motivated. So it's really kind of hard to say, yes, you're taking this money, Cottonwood. You know what I mean? It's hard because Murray requests it all the time. Cottonwood is aware of it.
Yeah.
That's what I had heard
Yeah,
in
they
the
are
past. So
they're
that's-
very aware of it. Now, there's a new principal there, so that
Yes,
Diane and I
and
met.
we've met,
And
and
so
He
I
seemed
would
pretty
ass- I
amenable,
would
actually.
assume he would jump on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think you made a good point, Mayor, that it's important to remember that starting here soon, in order to get money from the city, there will be a new application process. Nothing that has happened in the past is going to be guaranteed in the future, just like we apply for grants as a city every year. Everyone requesting funds from the city will need to apply as well through the new program.
I would just like to say it's a little bit different dealing with Granite School District too. When we approach Murray School District, the superintendent's involved,
Yeah.
the administration's involved, they know what's going on, they have accountability for this. We should really approach Granite School District, not the principal at Cottonwood High School. He doesn't have anything to do with this, actually. So it should go through someone at the district, and then we can have discussions on how much we want to give them. And, because not everybody that goes to those schools is a Murray resident either, even though the
Right.
school is located in Murray. So it's much more complicated moving outside of Murray City. And
I
that's
know.
probably why nothing has, transpired yet.
I get that, but I still want to make sure that, they are in our city, and I
Sure.
still want to make sure that's recognized and, that we help when we can.
I agree.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, I'm going to turn over to Jennifer to get some instruction. How do I close this one?
You just asked.
Okay, I'm just going, so what do I do with this one? Okay, so, can I have a motion made?
I'll make a motion to adopt a resolution approving an interlocal cooperation agreement between the city and Murray School District relating to music education and instruction.
I second it. Any further discussions? Okay, Brooke, could you please do a call? Thank you.
I am going to say aye, but I do want to continue to have this conversation with Granite or Conwood.
I agree. Aye.
I agree as well. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now we will turn it over to the mayor's report and any questions that we may have for him. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Thank you.
It's good to see you.
Thanks. Good to see you. Pam, she's so direct and she looks right through you. I just want to tell you, I was very impressed with our RDA meeting. That was so impressive. We had the room full, and I just thought it was impressive how well you guys listened. I watched you, and you were very intent. And the citizens, you could tell they appreciated it. And how you know when the citizens appreciate it, they respected you guys. No one was disrespectful, not a soul. And that was a big
It
crowd.
was a very civil meeting.
It was awesome. Phil, you've sat in a few, haven't you? A little different of the planning and zoning, well, we all have. But I'm here to tell you, it was impressive, and I just wanted to make that a point, that I just thought that was well-received. And I didn't feel like whatever direction you go, I just felt support from the city. So I thought it was great.
Mayor, I appreciate that sentiment. I think that it's something that did come out in that meeting and was very well seen. And I just encourage our citizens to keep commenting and to keep letting us know what they need and how they feel about things that are coming up on the docket. It's helpful.
And you loved it, that their intent, but nobody was disrespectful. Nobody. It was awesome. So anyway, that was great. And any questions for me? City Hall's on target. Jared, I looked at Gary. Right, Doug? I said that. Now, you've had a meeting since March 31st still, right, for the finish? Not moving in, Tammy, but
Mayor, are we due for a tour of the facility?
yeah, we could do that anytime. We were kind of waiting for the mud and all that stuff to kind of but you have boots on.
I have boots. I'll walk in mud.
Getting dirt on our carpet.
And then I'll take them off
I know,
and
that's what
walk
we'll all
like I
do.
do at my house.
I love it. Okay.
I'll bring an extra pair. Don't worry. I know. We teach Lincoln.
Yes. So Doug, will you do me a favor and we'll set that up with Jennifer? And then we'll have it. And then really, you want it done the next couple of weeks?
Yeah,
Okay.
Please.
We'll do it.
yes.
You'll love it. It's absolutely beautiful. And anyway, it's beautiful. So we'll do that. We'll set that up.
Thanks.
Great.
Any other questions for the mayor?
Okay, thank you.
If there are no objections, we are adjourned.